It starts with the Innovation Basic.
Are these new? Anything new here, or is
The Innovation Basic is a relatively new turntable, as well as the TT5 tone arm. This was also introduced within the last year or so. The TT5, I'll talk about the arm for a moment,
Okay.
is their entry-level linear track tone arm. So it has a much smaller form factor, but still the kind of really low friction differential that makes these tone arms function properly.
right?
So I think it's a $4,000 retail point. I'd have to confirm that for you with my price list.
Okay.
But it's a really good price point to get into a linear arm. It works on. You can mount it on any turntable you want, preferably a Clearaudio, of course.
Well, of course you'd say that.
But and it also has a swing base, which allows you to, because of the fact that this is getting in the way of the record, you can rotate the tone arm out of the way as you change the record.
That's good, and it locks in
that's,
place.
You know, yes, it does. It does. Well, yes, it comes to the end of its travel, and it's rigid and tracks with no tracing error.
So they say.
Yeah, well, you know, if it works.
Okay, and then this arm
and
here.
this is the magnified tone arm. This has been in the lineup for a while.
And this costs.
It's they're $37.50 retail, I believe.
So the prices are fairly close.
They are fairly close. You know, you're either going to want a linear arm or a radial, or both.
And this table costs.
This package here is $9,000 as it's pictured with either tone arm. So you can choose which tone arm you like. The package is $9,000.
Right, and you got a flat belt, and you got a. This is a.
That's right. This is a ceramic magnetic bearing palm platter.
Okay.
And it's also got the optical speed control, as all of their turntables above the Ovation level have.
Oh, so how do you adjust the speed?
The speed is adjustable by some potentiometers on the back.
Okay.
But it's also regulated. It self-regulates its speed.
So it's measuring the speed.
Yeah, it has an infrared sensor.
All right, so that's a lot of tech for.
There is a lot of tech. Yeah.
And it's compact, and it's
Yeah, this is so if you want to, if you like this form factor, you want the option to have multiple tone arms, and you want all of the technology that they offer. Basically, this is a good choice.
Okay.
Similar design overall, although with more massive parts, a much more massive platter, obviously.
Right.
But also has optical speed control, ceramic magnetic bearing, and the capability to function with two tone arms.
Much heavier.
Much heavier, yeah.
And it's only $2,500.
Yeah, it's not a big jump in price.
That's with the arm.
This package here, yeah, but this is also a more sophisticated tone arm. This is the 9-inch universal tone arm. So it's a traditional mechanical gimbaled bearing. However, it uses very precision matched parts.
Right.
They probably throw away more than they use until they're finding a bearing that meets their spec.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
So this is actually a really fantastic tone arm. Kind of at the similar price point to a lot of other high-end tone arms.
What does that arm cost by itself?
I believe it's $5,500 or somewhere around then, $6,000. There's also an optional VTA lifter that you can get with the tone arm that affects the price point.
And this one is adjustable, but not on the fly.
We have it. We can see it both ways. This is without the VTA lifter, and this is actually a point of confusion. The VTA lifter is an optional accessory. This is shown without the VTA lifter.
But you can still loosen that grub screw and still adjust it.
Exactly. You need a tool. You can raise and lower the VTA, tune it in.
That's all.
However, then shown here is it with the VTA lifter kit. So what you see here is this lever. It allows you to seamlessly adjust.
And what is the difference in price?
Adding the VTA lifter kit adds about $750 by itself. And if you buy it as a package, I think it's a little less than that, actually. So then getting to this turntable here, this is the Innovation. That was the Innovation Basic, the Innovation Compact, and then you go up to just the Innovation Wood in this case.
Okay.
So all of these turntables use Panzerholz wood, which is the bulletproof plywood. That's their best material, very resonantly inert. The platter has become more massive by adding this stainless steel sub-platter. Right. Adds a ton of mass, which means better rotational stability, better momentum, speed stability, and they've also doubled the plinth essentially. Right. So better isolation.
So these are all variations on a theme, but significant differences.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
And this one is 16K with the
16K with the universal 12-inch arm, which we just discussed, and then there's also the the bigger linear tracker, the TT2.
And that's
19.5 with that arm.
And if you wanted a 9-inch arm on this, you could get one for a little less money?
Absolutely, yeah. And that is actually a pretty common package to sell.
Because, I'm very old school. I think the shorter arms are better. But that's my own opinion. There's certainly an argument to be made for that has plenty of validity. And the important thing is that whatever you like, you can get.
Yes.
And I won't argue with that.
We're gonna sell you what you like.
That's always a good idea.
We're gonna make sure that you're happy with it. The TT2 locks, so that way you don't accidentally.
Okay, so I won't break
push
anything.
it down.
I promise.
But no, I'm not worried about that. So then, this very, as you can see, very low friction differential there.
Yeah.
This is a very highly precision carriage. With these low friction bearings in it. So much more robust outer structure for better stability.
Sure. Is what's inside the least expensive one a similar quartz?
It's a similar idea, yes.
But not quite as precise.
But it's just not quite as massive and precise. Yeah. But this is a $10,000 tone arm versus a $4,000 tone arm. So.
Okay.
And then you get up to the master innovation, which is shown here on the optional Olympus stand. This is where they really kind of throw the kitchen sink at you with all of the technology that they offer. The Statement turntable, which is their really big 700-pound turntable, which isn't here, is famous for using a magnetic drive system.
Right.
And they've trickled that technology down to the Master Innovation, which also uses a magnetic drive system. So if you see here, this lower platter is being driven by this flat belt.
Right.
And then if you can get a good angle there, you can see that there's actually a gap, and there's no physical contact between this platter and this platter. Each platter is driving the other by means of a ring of magnets.
Right.
So you've essentially decoupled the motor even further by removing it.
And then this one is driven by that?
Yes, this is attached to this, and there's a ceramic bearing.
Oh, so this is physically attached to that. So the separation is really there.
This comes out of the box as one part, and then it sets on this. So that really further isolates any mechanical vibrations from the motor, even more so than it's already doing.
Okay.
And then this tone arm is the TT1 MI. This is the same tone arm that they put on the Statement turntable.
Right.
And they've made a special version of it that now fits on the Innovation Series turntables. So this arm will go on any of those other turntables. It's just tends to be the sort of thing you would put on.
What does that arm
this
cost?
Level. The arm is around, I believe the retail price on the arm is $30,000. There are some options, I believe, in terms of lacquer and materials that affect the price.
And so the combination costs how much?
This package here, as you see it, is $50,000, and that's piecemeal it would be a little bit more than that, but this particular package, as shown, is $50,000.
Okay.
And that's their flagship tone arm.
All right. So the series is here, and it's pretty clear. No pun intended, how it upgrades as it goes.
That's right.
Then the skeptics would say, I don't think it'll sound any different, because a turntable's a turntable. Okay, then you have to prove it to these people. But
those people are going to save some money, but they might not get as much. Record cleaning machine cleans both sides of the record simultaneously. It uses a physical brushing cleaning as well as a sonic vibrating pad that resonates the record at a specific frequency that helps the dust and dirt be removed.
This came out of a tooth cleaning technology, right? Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. This is a more basic design, just a vacuum record cleaning machine. You clean the record by hand and vacuum it off.
This costs how much?
This is, I believe, $1,600 retail.
And this one is?
This is $55.
55. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a big jump in price there, but this is also fully automatic.
Right.
And it can be used manually or automatic, and it's got a lot more technology.
Yeah. And then you got some phono preamps here.
Yep, this is their range of phono preamps. This starts with the Nano. That's their entry level. It's $450 retail. You go up from there to the Smart Phono. Has some more gain and loading options, better power supply.
If they come out with a lower price one, will it be the dumb phono?
No, they haven't come out with the dumb phono yet. No, I'm still waiting for that.
And these are what, power supplies?
No, this is another phono stage as well. This is the Basic Plus. So this one has an outboard power supply.
And it's moving coil and moving magnet?
Moving coil or moving magnet.
And what does this cost?
This one retails for $1,000.
Nice and compact.
Yeah, and there's an optional battery power supply that can be added. That can be added to this phono stage or this one here, I believe, which is the Balance Plus. This offers balanced operation as well.
And a headphone jack.
Yeah,
too.
but it also has an out. Yeah, there's a lot more features.
Right.
And then.
So what does this one cost?
$450.
$450, and this one is
$750.
$750.
$1,000, and I don't off the top of my head have a price quote on these.
And the Absolute phono?
The Absolute phono is their flagship phono. This actually has a very different type of technology. This is a current amplifier.
A current, okay.
So you have the option of buying a standalone phono unit, the Absolute phono. As here it's shown, it says the Absolute phono inside. Plug any moving coil cartridge into that and it's ready to go.
Right, no loading, nothing. Right.
Right.
It does best with the low internal impedance cartridges.
Yes.
It's only for moving coil cartridges?
It is only for moving coil cartridges.
And what does that cost, do you know?
This one, do you have the retail on the Absolute phono? No, but I can find it. Yeah, it's I believe it's $15,000. I have to triple check that though.
Okay.
And the other thing to point out about this is that there's also the Absolute phono version that's the not inside version. That actually has an active head shell that Clearaudio will build into the head shell of your tone arm. So your tone arm, rather than being terminated in RCA leads, has a sub-D connector that plugs into this, and it's feeding it an already partially amplified signal.
Oh.
So
that's
interesting. By adding the amplification earlier in the signal path,
low noise.
You get lower noise,
yeah.
Exactly, and just a pure signal and a lot better clarity. So that's the ideal way to use this type of phono stage.
Right.
Although this is a really, if you call it a compromise, it's a pretty minor one.
If people are really worried about noise, they're not listening to vinyl anyway.
That's
really. I had a guy. I sent him a file. I made a file of a record, and this file sounds absolutely fantastic. By any stretch, by any standard. He goes, "Yeah, it sounds really good, but I looped the lead-in groove and I measured the noise, and it's got I could capture that with 11 bits of digital." Well, you listen to the loop lead-in groove. Okay, I want to listen to the music. Okay?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people miss the point of this.
Well, okay, then here we have.
So here actually it might make more sense to kind of go up the line.
Okay.
If you want to start with the concept, this is our bread and butter entry level. This is our best seller.
Right.
It uses a magnetic bearing tone arm, so that means there's essentially no friction at all in the tone arm. It has a massive platter palm material, which is what they're using in all their platters now. So this is at 1600. This is their entry level.
With a cartridge.
With the cartridge.
Great way to start.
In this case, it's the MM. It's also available with the Concept MC.
Right.
And then from here, you can move up to the Concept Wood, which uses a Baltic birch plinth, which is a more expensive, more robust material.
Very handsome too.
Yeah, this is not a trim piece. This is made out of this same
Right, and this is a different arm. This is the.
Yeah. Now there are some options to swap out the tone arms, but usually this package comes with what is seen here, which is the Satisfy tone arm. This is the Satisfy aluminum. Also, some people call it the Satisfy Black or the Satisfy Cardan. Cardan is the German word for gimbal.
Yeah.
But this is a precision mechanical bearing. So a little bit more expensive to produce,
right?
But it also adds a little bit more rigidity to the system.
There's a controversy about this arm. That the bearings are not offset to match the offset angle of the head shell. So if you're on a warped record and you're raising it, you're not.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's not a major thing.
I think that the warp itself is more of an issue than the amount of offset that this arm is going to introduce.
I agree. But it's interesting.
But yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, I use this on my test system all the time. I think it's a fantastic.
And so, if you had this arm versus that arm, would you say there's a big sonic difference?
Set up properly, they're both really capable of high performance. I think this arm, being that it's mechanical, it's a little bit more rigid. It lends itself.
Punch.
I think I think there's that potential. This is going to be a little bit more transparent.
The energy gets grounded as opposed to hanging out.
Yeah, it's also a little less picky about what cartridges you use with it. This one definitely likes to perform best with cartridges that track a little on the heavier side, like the Clearaudios do, which gives you better stability in the groove. This one you can throw a little bit more variety at it, and it'll shine.
But that's a really attractive looking thing.
Yeah.
For 3 gig. Okay, then we move up to my tuberculosis. Okay, and then we get to...
This is the Performance DC. This is where they start to throw a little bit more of their advanced technologies into the designs. This price point is also $3,000. However, that's because it doesn't include a cartridge. This cartridge that you saw that was included in that price is the Maestro. That's a $1,200 cartridge.
I think I reviewed that cartridge.
Yeah. That's their flagship MM. It's a very nice cartridge. Yeah. So Performance DC uses the ceramic magnetic bearing. This is the first turntable in their line that incorporates that. So as you can see here, there's that's low friction, high mass for good rotational stability. This is the carbon fiber version of the first tone arm we talked about, the magnetic pivot.
I see.
Once you're at this level, though, you have a few options of tone arms. Some people, you can choose between carbon fiber or aluminum. You can choose between the magnetic or the gimbal bearing.
And the price changes.
The price changes, yes, but it's not. There aren't any huge jumps.
Okay, now we get.
Now this is new. This is the Performance DC wood. This incorporates that same Baltic birch material that we talked about in the Performance turntable. Here it's pictured with the carbon fiber version of what you saw on the concept wood. So carbon fiber is, definitely the preferable material. This turntable, is kind of, hit a price point that really offers a lot of bang for the buck. Included. Actually, not shown on this, but this will also come with a upgraded feet. This one doesn't have it, but these are going to actually be the higher mass spike feet.
Okay, and there's a sub platter in here that's got the pulley and the under there and the.
All of these turntables are driven by a sub platter and an internally decoupled DC motor.
Now, can you take this platter just so we can see?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll show you.
I want the people to see as much as possible.
Yeah, this is a 40 millimeter palm platter. Underneath that, you've got this stainless steel.
Yeah, that deserves to be seen. It's beautiful.
Yeah, stainless steel sub platter, and this is on the ceramic magnetic bearing. So as you can see, this is a very highly polished ceramic shaft that's got a little bit of bearing oil on it, and then it's suspended in a magnetic field. So that brings the amount of friction and down to almost nil. And
then we get to the top of this line. It's another. Almost $2,000.
Yeah, the Ovation.
You don't see that much of a difference.
Well, you would hear the difference quite a bit.
I would hope so.
But there are two very significant points that separate this one from the one before it. One is that this wood material here is Panzerholz. That's the wood that they use on the Statement.
As opposed to the
use on all of the higher end, the Innovation Series, etc. It's bulletproof plywood. Incredibly low resonant signature, and in addition to that material upgrade, it uses an optical speed control. So similar to what we talked about at the Innovation Series. This has all of the same features and technology as the Innovation Series. It's just in a more familiar form factor.
And this has got the magnetic.
Yeah, this is the Clarify. This is a magnetic bearing, but it has some additional upgrades as well, such as a machined head shell, a drop-down counterweight with a micrometer style adjustment.
Make it easier to set up. So basically, there's a lot of turntables in the line. A lot of turntables.
There are a lot of turntables, and there are a lot of options, but we've sort of pictured these as to show you what the packages that make the most sense and that we think are going to offer the best bang.
So because of all these different models, no dealer has the whole line. The different dealers have different aspects of the line.
Well, I mean, it depends on the dealer, obviously. Some dealers will show a very large portion of the line. Others might just show a couple and then offer you some options. But what we definitely recommend people give us a call if they have any questions. We can help them determine what makes the most sense.
because there's a lot of combinations here. You run into the risk of people saying, there's so many, I don't know where to go. So it really depends upon the dealer and the importer to be a good guide to help people find out and figure out what is best for their needs.
If you're lucky enough to be in a major market, you'll find a dealer who can do that for you, definitely. And if not, then I'm always available.
And you're Mike.
I'm Mike Fajen.
Okay, Mike.
Customer service and technical support for musical surroundings.
Very important to have people like you around in this world. It's necessary because there's so much involved, and the analog people getting back into it, or for the first time, they don't really know how to start. And you have to give them the start. So I hope you're well paid.
Well, tell that to my boss. I
will not tell that to your boss. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah.